Good morning, everyone. It's Joel with One Great Vacation, and this is day 9 of our trip, the last day. This will be the last time I look off this balcony on the Columbia River as one of the tankers goes past with a pilot boat in front of it showing it the way. The other 4 boats out there are moored. They told us yesterday that they park here because it's free to park. If they go on up the river, then it is $1,000 a day to park. This boat is going downriver. As you can see, it's low tide. This is as low as I've seen it in a while because we haven't seen those sandbars that are there now. So I'm sure they're having to stay in the channel pretty closely. Last day of the trip's always bittersweet. There won't be any more memories made, but you've got all the memories you made the last 10 days. Those are worth more than any possession. We spend a lot of money, percentage-wise, on these trips. But you know, material things, they go out of style, they break. You can only have so many. But memories of spending 10 days with your family in Oregon and Washington, you won't ever lose that. And it doesn't take up clutter in your house. And when you think back about it, you'll always have a fondness for this. So that's why we do it. That's why you go on vacation. You go on vacation to spend time with your family. You go on vacation to reset your soul. And boy, I am just a philosopher this morning. Alright, we got a couple of things planned today. We're headed to the Lewis and Clark Museum Fort show. I don't know what the Lewis and Clark thing is, but we're going there. Then we're got about a 2-hour drive to the airport. We got to turn in our rent car, check our bags, get on the plane. The plane's a 4-hour flight, but we're going to lose 2 hours because of the time zone. So it'll be a 6-hour flight, and it'll be pretty late when we get in. And then it's a 2-hour drive from the airport to the house. So it'll be midnight before we get home. So this is effectively the end of the trip. Here about 10:30. But right now I'm going to breakfast, and I'll show y'all what we see. Okay, we made it to Fort Class Stop. This is where Lewis and Clark ended up or something. I'm not exactly sure, but there's a fort built here, and we're going to go through the thing. Here we have a statue of Sacagawea. So this is Fort Class Stop. This is where Lewis and Clark staged themselves to head back east. There were 33 people in their party. I didn't realize that. It wasn't just Lewis and Clark. And they named this after the local Indian tribe. And they stayed here several months preparing for their journey back to civilization to tell everybody that they had found the East Coast. This is a replica built in 2006. The original fort does not exist anymore, but they're pretty sure this is the actual site of the fort. They do reenactments here too. We're a little early. They haven't got fired up, and it is a weekday, so they may not do them today anyway, but this would be a reenactment camp. This was a spring that they got their water from. Of course, I don't know if you can see now, but the spring is nearly gone. There is a trickle of water right down there, but that's about it. This is another reenactment area, and you can see the lake through the trees there. FYI, the mosquitoes are bad. I can't believe there's mosquitoes. It's about 60 degrees out here right now, maybe. But I've been slapping mosquitoes pretty regular. So if you're coming out this way, be sure to bring your bug spray.
And now it's time for Pop Quiz. So put on your thinking caps. Results will be given at the end of the video.
Pop quiz. Who was the president that sent Lewis and Clark across the country looking for the Pacific Ocean and exploring? I'll tell you in just a little bit. This is the Clearwater River. This is the river they traveled down mostly. We just read an interesting piece on how they built canoes and that kind of thing. They built their own canoes, mainly using Indian techniques. The pylons you see out there are from the logging days on this river. They would use them for sorting the logs and building the rafts. So they had stuff to tie up to and to place the logs in. A quote from either Lewis or Clark. This is the Lewis and Clark Museum inside the Visitor Center. Very nice museum. Got a full replica of an Indian boat here. This is the Indian side of it, evidently. The answer to our quiz is Thomas Jefferson.
This has been Pop Quiz. Thank you for listening.
This is the flag that the Corps of Discovery used while they were here at Fort Clatsop. It has 15 stars and 15 stripes, which is not what we're used to today. The 15 stars and 15 stripes were each one for each state in our nation. And this flag was established in 1794, but was taken back in 1818 when our nation went back to 13 stripes and the number of stars for how many states were in our nation. George Washington said that the stars were from heaven, the red was from our mother country, and the white showed our detachment from her, giving us our independence. Francis Bellamy wrote the Pledge of Allegiance, and he wrote it as a school-wide banner for young children to learn. The wording of that has been changed 3 times throughout the years. Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner, and he wrote it while at Fort McHenry watching all of that destruction take place. The journals always talked about how briskly you wanted to move up the flag to show the earnest of the day. So we welcome you to Fort Clatsop.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this is what we expected to see. It was rain every day, but this is the only time it's rained. We've had sunshine for 10 days now. It's going to shower on us on the way to the airport. Okay, everybody, we made it onto the plane. We are taxiing down the runway. You can't really see that because it's too bright out there. This is what the plane looks like. Next stop, Dallas. Alright guys, we made it home. 1 o'clock in the morning. Still unloading the car. It was a great trip. 10 days. 2 states. Airplanes, cars, boats, trains. We took it all. We had a good time. I'm glad to be home. But we'll definitely take you with us on our next trip, which is coming up around September. I believe it's in September. So we'll be heading to Washington, D.C. on the next one. You're welcome to join us. See you later.